what they're saying. So on day 2, during the second day of testimony, forensic biologist told jurors she tested a mass discovered at the Peachtree Corner crime scene and found DNA linked to the suspected shooter, Josiah Hughley.
Yes, my name is Kelly Bentz, and I was a crime scene investigator with Gwinnett County during the time of this case.
The picture on the screen is States 10. Is the contents within that bag, the mass is located in States 10?
Yes, it is.
And you placed that in the evidence bag?
Yes, I did. I think these are the swabs.
I'm sorry?
These are swabs that were taken from the mass.
An investigator with the Gwinnett County District Attorney's Office revealed to jurors seized cell phones belonging to the suspects that tied them to the general location of the crime scene.
My name is Officer William Merkley, M-E-R-K-L-E-Y.
How are you employed, sir?
Currently with the Gwinnett County Police Department. We were dispatched to a person shot call at that address. When I arrived, I observed a black Dodge Charger parked next to the air pump outside the QT. There was a black male laying on the ground, face down, in a pool of blood. I was told by fire department on scene that the victim at the time was deceased.
How quickly, from the time that the 911 call went out, did you actually arrive at the scene?
Within 10 minutes. This is Mr. Coleman outside his vehicle as he was found when officers arrived on scene.
Okay. And the car to the right of Mr. Coleman, what kind of car is that?
That is a Dodge Charger.
Thank you. Go through State 7. Is that a closer up view, Mr. Coleman?
Yes, sir.
I see some crime scene markers down there. Those were placed by CSI, sir?
Yes, sir, they were.
States 8. Is that a reverse angle, the body that you just mentioned, Mr. Coleman?
Yes, sir.
Now, as you look at State 7 and State 8, do you see any firearm that's on the ground at all?
No firearm, just an empty holster.
You referred to an empty holster, sir. That States 9 that's going to be coming up on the screen. Sorry. Is that the holster, sir?
Yes, sir.
Is there also something else found on the ground by the body of Mr. Coleman? I should refer you to States 10.
Yes, that was found on the ground by Mr. Coleman. As you can see the hose at the... There's a second empty gun holster.
Y'all able to determine which kind of gun holster it was?
Not to my knowledge, no. No, not me.
And would you step down and just point onto the TV screen where the second holster was? It's just right here. Okay, thank you. Is that a close-up of what you just referred to?
Yes, it is. Upon looking at the video, at first I couldn't tell, but after Googling, we knew it was a black Mercedes from the video. Looking at the front headlight assembly on that car, we determined it was a E350 Mercedes.
Is y'all able to confirm the license plate?
I do. I don't recall the numerics, but I do recall it was an Illinois license plate.
Seeing and Hardy. Can you make out the license plate that's there on States 21?
Yes, sir. It is CV90487.
That's how we get it.
Yes, sir.
So 2216, I believe you said, is 10:16 in the evening?
Yes, sir.
And does it also indicate the location where the car was at 10:16 in the evening on July 9th?
It hit off a flock camera in Atlanta. Looks like Atlanta Police Department. I don't know where Northside and 17 are, but it's in their jurisdiction.
All right, let's go to States 22. And, pardon me. States 22. Is this a flock camera just a few minutes later?
I believe it's going to be the same camera, just 1 second later.
All right. And does flock sometimes catch a car more than once?
Yes, sir, it does.
Let's go to States 23. Could you give us the date and time on this one?
This is July 10th, 2022 at 12:18 a.m.
10:16 in the evening on the 9th of July, correct?
Yes, sir.
The homicide occurred on the 10th of July at approximately 12:40 or so in the afternoon. Is that a fair approximation?
Yes, sir.
Now, this photograph is taken at Northside Drive, right?
Yes, sir.
You know where Northside Drive is?
I do not.
Is it in the city of Atlanta as far as you know?
From what the flock information states, this is a Atlanta police flock camera. Yes, sir.
How far is Tucker from Peachtree Parkway?
I'm not sure. It's
Going back to the dam in North Harrison. How far is that from the picture by Peachtree Parkway?
I'm not sure, sir.
Fair enough.
Yes, sir.
And there again, flock is supposed to be an aid to enable you to see where the car might be, right?
Yes, sir.
And you can see the car here, there, and everywhere in the 12 to 14 hours leading up to the homicide, right?
Yes, sir.
But the time when the homicide actually happens, lo and behold, flock magically is unable to capture a single photograph of that particular license plate anywhere. Is that your testimony?
If it doesn't drive past the camera, we don't get a picture of it.
Both of the car doors are open. Is that the way the car appeared when you arrived?
Yes, ma'am.
2, does it have a time that the 911 call came in?
It has the time the call was created. I'm not sure if it's the time the 911 call came in exactly, but it's close.
Okay. So the last 2 photos that we have of the Mercedes 350 with the tag CV 90487, if you would look at States 35, which you said corresponding to Defendants 3, the time on that is what, sir?
A little over an hour before the call was created.
And that time is at 11:26 a.m. Would that be a fair statement?
Yes, ma'am.
And that is directly across from the QT.
Yes, ma'am.
The particular car that you saw when you reviewed QT video, did the headlights appear to have any alterations to it?
They did not.
Now, without seeing specifically the car on Flock, you cannot say whether there were modifications made to the headlights on that particular car. Would that be a fair statement?
I can't tell from the flock cameras, no, ma'am.
And when you're searching for these particular headlights, did you keep going until you found one that matched?
Yes, ma'am.
So how many different types of cars did you look at?
I compared whatever Google put up on the screen to whatever E-Class or whatever black Mercedes sedan showed up in the Google search.
Did you look at the E450 by chance?
I don't recall. Your search, if you don't have a license plate or a tag for the vehicle, you can search it by make, color. It doesn't get specific to model, but you can limit down the search to what exactly you're looking for.
And when you figured out that it was Mercedes E350, did you enter that query the date and time around this month?
It gets only specific to black Mercedes sedan. When I found this one that we determined was an E350, that's when I found this car.
That's what I want you on. So when you found this one, when you entered black Mercedes E350, how many automobiles came up?
Just this one.
It's a shooting. Is that fair to say?
It depends on the time frame. In this immediate area, a search of 1 to 2 days, because we know the shooting occurred with this vehicle. I'm not looking for whoever drove this car 2 months beforehand.
I got you. So your search may have been limited to basically 48 hours. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
The prosecutor's asking about potential other flock videos. Were you aware that any other law enforcement officer ran a flock request for the same E350 license CV 90487?
I'm not sure what officer may or may not have.
Thank you very much.
When you ran your search, you would have gotten all possible flock hits for that particular vehicle that you were searching. Is that a correct statement?
Yes, ma'am.
And what we have here are all of the flock videos that you received when you input that information.
For this particular tag, yes.
Hi, my name is Kelsey Nettinger. I'm a crime scene specialist for Gwinnett County Police Department. I was requested by a detective to take photographs, obtain a beautiful swab, and elimination prints of one of the defendants.
I'm going to show you a series of photographs of marked states 56 through 64. Ask if you're familiar with this particular picture.
Did you say 56?
Yes, ma'am, through 64. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Did you have an opportunity to take photographs of defendant Josiah Hewitt?
Yes, I did.
And states 56 through 64, those in fact the photographs that you took.
Yes, they are.
True and accurate representations of how Mr. Hewitt appeared in July 10 or July 2022.
Yes.
At this time with tender states 56 through 60. What happens with state 65?
That item is entered into a program called SAFE, which gives it a barcode and a label, and then it is transported to the evidence unit. It's secured there, and its chain of custody is followed via that barcode system. These are prints that are requested by the actual detective to take inked prints from somebody that is known. So you have latent prints. Those are prints that are obtained from a scene in which you do not know who those belong to, whereas inked elimination prints are prints that I directly take from an individual. I know exactly who they came from, so that way they can be compared to other items that are unknown.
So if anything was tested for fingerprints, they would be compared to what you took from a certain individual to see if they match or don't match.
If there are any latents that were obtained, but also obtained with value. They have to have value and be clear and enough of a print to be compared to those prints.
I'm Dr. Carol, that's C-A-R-O-L, Terry, T-E-R-R-Y.
Dr. Terry, what is your current occupation?
I am a forensic pathologist. I function as the chief medical examiner for Gwinnett County.
It does come to you. What do you do? I see some things about this picture. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well, at this point in time, the body has come into the morgue. I have discussed with the investigators who handled this case what the reported circumstances are, so he is giving you his synopsis of what occurred. And in this case, my investigator went to the scene. So he had actually been to the scene. He was the one who put the bags on the hands at any potential evidence that might be there on the hands. He's the one who made sure that the body was appropriately positioned in a disaster bag or body bag. There was a tag and sealed, so you see the bag. And in this photograph, what you're seeing is the bag has been opened. There's been no manipulation of the body by me at this point in time. This is how Mr. Coleman appeared when I first saw him. And so these are the articles of clothing that he's wearing. You see the wire here. He has an identification bag that's on his leg, placed there by my investigator who was at the scene. And you can see how he was dressed at the scene. And so this is how he appeared when I first saw him.
Dr. Terry, I'm going to...
Okay, what we're looking at here, this is the top of Mr. Coleman's head on the left side, and this is prior to him cleaning the body. So this is dry blood here. We can see part of the injury there. We don't see it well because hair is around it. And so, again, this is part of cleaning the body and prior to my shaving around this wound, which is before I moved this wound. Before any water or washing it into the earth, I'm going to shave the hair around it so that I don't lose the visual evidence if you washed up. But it is a loose contact range wound, so the ultimately down is up against the head and it's discharged.
I'd like to zoom in. At this point, Dr. Terry, could you describe what this picture is demonstrating?
Okay, in this photograph, we're looking at Mr. Coleman's head. As I indicated, I shaved around the wound. And if you look in here, you can see a little bit of the dark just around it. There's a part of it caused by the soot. There's a laceration from here that extends through this wound. There are various slight abrasions and a little bit of bruising on the face, so that there's smoke and particles of gunpowder.
How close do you have to be to a firearm
To have what?
to have soot within an injury like that?
It depends on the firearm. It depends on a number of factors, such as the caliber of the weapon, firearm, type of the ammunition, things of that nature. But so for me, as a medical examiner, I choose a qualitative term. I'll say it's contact or close range. And then we get beyond the area where there's no longer soot deposited, but I've got gunpowder, and I call that medium range. So because of there being variability based on parameters that are associated with the firearm and ammunition, issues that are handled by a ballistics examiner who best fires weapons and can tell you what these precise ranges are. Typically for me, when I see soot, it's usually inside of a foot. But when I see a wound like this, I've got soot, I don't have stippling, which are injuries caused by gunpowder. Everything that's being discharged out of that firearm is going into that hole, and the soot is a little dispersed. This is a loose contact. It's not a press contact where I have a muzzle injury. It's loose contact, and then it gives a loose fracture.
Okay, the picture that's been pulled up there, is there anything significant around the mouth?
Oh, well, you see a little bit of frothy, bloody fluid.
What's that indicate, Doc?
So in this case, it's because I've got a breach of the airway, there's a disruption of the airway, and blood is getting mixed with air from the lungs. And
Quickly would death come with the injury that you saw?
with this type of injury, most likely pretty quickly, I'd say seconds to maybe minutes. I know it was not an immediate death because of the inhalation of blood. So there is some breathing in to account for that amount of blood within the lungs.
While Josiah Hughley is described by prosecutors as the gunman, David Booker is depicted as the armed support, and Miles Collins is the accused getaway driver.